Hello and welcome to my painting video. In this video I'll be painting a model from the Unmade warband called an Awakened One. This warband is part of the Warcry game and oh boy, look at that guy. I saw this very cool idea on the Warcry subreddit and I wanted to give it a try. What devotion one should have to chaos to flay your entire skin and fancy it into a skirt. The unmasking pose is quite unsettling, as is the rest of this wicked warband. Let me show you how I painted this. I base coated the model in Wraithbone. This gives the base coat a very nice bright finish. The base coat is Mephiston Red. Apply slightly watered down. Next, I will give a subtle wash. This is a thinned down Carroburg Crimson. I thinned this down with 2 parts of Lamian Medium. I will paint all the parts where you can either see the bone or the white muscle connections with Wraithbone. I use a reference for this. Now I will layer Evil Sunz Scarlet on the muscles. Make sure to only catch the raised parts of the muscles. The first highlight is Wild Rider Red. Make sure to paint the lines very thin. Again, look at your reference to see which directions the muscle lines go. The second highlight is Fire Dragon Bright. Go over the same lines as you did before and try to keep them as thin as possible. This is quite a challenge. The final highlight will be Fire Dragon Bright mixed with some white scar. Painting those thin lines is difficult, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it after painting a few of these models. Now I will highlight the bone parts with some white scar. The last part is applying blood for the blood god to the muscles. Make sure you have very little on your brush. You want the muscles to become shiny and bloody, but you don't want to ruin your line work. Also add blood to the bones to make them shiny as well. This is the most difficult step in the process, but I think it's worth it. If you have 10 of those flayed guys on the field, no one will dare play against you. The skin that has been flayed is now used as a skirt. Base coat this with Guilliman Flesh. I would add one highlight of Flayed One Flesh because it gives a bit more definition to the skin and the name suits it nicely. Again, bring out the blood for the blood god. Decide if you want the skin to look bloody or not, but I would suggest to at least bloody up the edges and the stitches. This is such a cool concept and nicely disturbing. For the armor and the weapons, I want to try something a little different. No need to break out the lead belcher, but let's go for a base coat of Stormvermin Fur. Give all these parts a nice wash of Nuln Oil. I will highlight this with Celestra Grey. Lastly, I will give it a wash of Agrax Earthshade to blend the highlights a bit more. This looks a bit different, but I think it goes very well with the weird muscle man. All attention goes to the mass of blood red muscles, so it's good to subdue all the metal parts a bit without using metallic paints. I decided to paint the helmet a bit different to help stand out more. Base coat the helmet with Ushabti Bone. Next, give the helmet a layer of Skeleton Horde contrast paint. Lastly, I will give this helmet a highlight of Flayed One Flesh. Finally, the leather straps will be base coated with Wyldwood. I'm happy how this guy turned out. What a cool warband, and it's even cooler with the idea of flaying the entire dude. If you want to know how I painted the base, please take a look at any of my other Warcry tutorials. I do admit painting those thin lines on the muscles requires a bit more practice and also a good brush with a thin tip, but my goal is always to make sure the models look good on the tabletop where you view them from a distance. Also, please mind that these models are extremely fragile. My test model had his polearm tip broken off, and there are lots of small dangly bits that can snap easily. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to flay your own skin for the Gods of Chaos, make sure you use the correct knife. Thanks for watching!